Finger Man wants to be your friend. My name is Maria, and what I'm about to share is something that still sends shivers down my spine. It's an experience that defies logic and left me deeply shaken. To this day, I can't fully explain what happened, but I know it was real. It began last summer when I encountered something, or rather, someone that looked exactly like me. It was a warm June evening, and I had just finished my shift at the local library. I decided to take a different route home. Walking through a quiet park I rarely visited, the sun was setting, casting long shadows across the path. As I walked, I felt an inexplicable sense of unease, as if I were being watched. I quickened my pace, eager to get home. Suddenly I saw her, standing beneath a large oak tree. Partially hidden in the shadows was a woman. She was my height, my build, and when she stepped into the light, I saw her face. It was my face. I stopped, frozen in place, staring at what could only be described as my doppelganger. She smiled at me, but it wasn't a friendly smile. It was cold, menacing, terrified. I turned and ran, not stopping until I reached my apartment. I locked the door behind me, my heart pounding in my chest. I tried to convince myself it was just my imagination, that maybe I had seen someone who just looked a little like me. But deep down, I knew it was more than that. Over the next few days, I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. I would catch glimpses of her in reflective surfaces, in store windows, in mirrors, even in puddles on the street. She never approached, never spoke, but her presence was a constant, oppressive weight. The fear and anxiety became unbearable. One evening, I confided in my grandmother about what was happening. She listened quietly, her face growing pale. When I finished, she warned me that this was a demon, a fallen angel. That night, I followed her advice. I knelt by my bed, clutching the rosary tightly, and began to pray. As I recited the prayers, the air around me seemed to grow heavier, and a chill spread through the room. I kept my eyes closed, focusing on the mysteries of the Holy Rosary and the words of the prayers. Suddenly, I felt a presence in the room with me. The hair on the back of my neck stood up, and I could sense her standing there just behind me. A cold breath brushed against my ear, and I heard a whisper, barely audible, but filled with malice. I couldn't make out the words, but the intent was clear. It wanted me to stop praying. With every ounce of willpower, I continued the rosary, my voice trembling but resolute. As I neared the end, the presence seemed to grow angrier, the chill intensifying. But then, as I whispered the final Amen, the room suddenly warmed, and the oppressive feeling lifted. I opened my eyes and saw nothing. She was gone. From that night on, I never saw the doppelganger again. The feeling of being watched disappeared, and my life slowly returned to normal. I still carry that rosary with me everywhere I go, a reminder of the power of faith and the protection it can offer. I pray it daily. I've told a few close friends about my experience, but many find it hard to believe. Some suggest it was stress or a vivid hallucination, but I know what I saw and felt. The fear was real, and the relief I felt after praying the rosary was undeniable. I've learned to trust my instincts and to never underestimate the power of faith in the face of the unexplainable. Who can be your friend? The Finger Man can.